Well, hi guys. Forgot to get some video of the welding. Kind of slipped my mind, but they're in there. Um, they're welded in. Before I welded, I checked the measurement from my old pin to the new one. Laid my straight edge. Whoops. Bumped it up the shaft, and it just did touch the radius arm there. So I knew they were in the right place. Now, I did, before I welded, take 2 pair of vice grips and clamped them right here and right here. So it was good and tight. And like I say, on my tip, get a 1-inch pipe nipple where you can slide up on this to protect the shaft. And if you weld too far, you didn't weld on the shaft, you welded on the pipe, which, as you can see, I did. So I got some cleanup work to do on the one over on the other side. But it's all in there. It's welded good. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not a welder. Don't claim to be. But it's in there. There's 4 or 5 passes welded. I started down here, started here, and went this way. But it's in there. It's not going anywhere. I did have one little spot right there I had to do some grinding on, but that's nothing. Now, the washer fits just like it's supposed to. Then you got this here piece that goes this way. Then your bracket goes on. Then this piece that's cupped goes toward that. Then your final bushing. So that's kind of like that on that bracket. And of course the new nut, which I bought. They don't come with the kits. Now, one thing I will tell you, there are no instructions in this kit to tell you which way this goes together. So, remember that. It's this, well, washer that way, then this piece, whoops, this goes into the bracket, the back side of the bracket, the cup side goes toward the bracket, like so. Then your last piece, then your washer. Now, one thing that I've discovered, no one knows exactly what this nut is supposed to be torqued at, per se. I did find a place in a book today that said 80 to 120 foot-pounds of torque. So, but to me, it's hard to torque a lock nut with that's pinching in on the threads. But like I say, before I welded it, I did put the pipe on that protected it, and like I say, You can see we're on the other side. Got a little rambunctious, but that's okay. It's not on the shaft. It's on this. So, one thing I'm not going to tell you what to do. Rod size, rod type, or heat. If you're comfortable enough with your welding abilities, then you already know what to use. But clean up, you know, prep work is what it's all about on this, because it's obviously main part of your steering and suspension. So you want it done right. As you can see by the color, I got it plenty warm. It's a little bit blue here and violet. So it got plenty, there was plenty of heat welded in the weld. So this kind of ends, well, no. I'll put one on tomorrow, and I'm calling it a day. It's about 5 o'clock by the clock on the wall. Me and Pop's calling it a day. Oh, hiding, huh?
Yeah.
But I'll show.
I was afraid somebody might have thought I welded it.
Well, I'll just tell everybody you did then, okay?
Yeah, I've had that before.
But at any rate, guys, I'll put one on the end of this, and I'll show all this going on the bracket and the bracket being put on. Kind of the ending of this. So hang on, we'll be right back. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. We'll be back in a minute, guys. Oops, I made a boo-boo. See what happens when you get older and you get a phone call in the middle of doing something? See what happens? Oh, Lordy. I didn't know I had, excuse me, I had done this until the next day, next morning, when I loaded the video and just went back, you know, played it to check everything out, make sure the video was okay to use. And oh boy, did I have egg on my face, you might say. Just lovely, just lovely. But I made a boo-boo, and I had to go back the next morning and fix that boo-boo, which did really not enthuse me, because laying on a creeper under the frame of this truck, looking through bifocals, my glasses with the bifocals, with the welder's helmet on, trying to weld upside down kind of and over your head, just it's a nightmare scenario, you might say. Your welder's worst nightmare. You can't see what you're doing. I would have rather had this laid out, took apart, lay it on, you know, laid it to where I could get to it real easy and then welded it up. But to get that arm off of that truck was going to be, oh, it would have took all day to have got both of these arms off, to weld them up, you know, to do 5 minutes worth of welding on both of them and then put it all back together. So I decided I'll leave it on there, I'll do it this way. Well, guess what? I goofed big time. But I caught it and I fixed it, and it's all back together. So I'm big enough to a man to admit when I screw up, I do it royally. But hey, I'm human. I make mistakes, guys. So excuse me. Please forgive my forgetfulness. Happens that way when you get older. At any rate, she's all done and back together. So I hope you enjoyed, and I know you got a good chuckle out of this, but hey, it happens. So I hope you enjoyed, and the work on the truck continues. So we'll see you next time, guys, and as always, please comment, rate, and subscribe. Oh well, can't have a perfect day, you know, just there's always got to be something gets screwed up, and this was that day screw up. We'll see you next time, guys.